Hi, Checotah Intermediate students. This is Reading with Mrs. Brinsfield, Week 2, Lesson 1. It's titled, What Can You Infer in These Stories? Before we get started with our activity, I wanted to mention that you are making inferences and drawing conclusions all the time and you don't even think about it. Observations occur when we can see something happening. In contrast, inferences are what we figure out based on an experience. Helping you understand when information is implied or not directly stated will improve your skill in drawing conclusions and making inferences. These skills will be needed for all sorts of school assignments and activities, including reading, science, and social studies. Inferential thinking is a complex skill that will develop over time and with experience. So let's go ahead and get started with our activity. Titled, What Can You Infer in These Stories? The first story, story number 1, is right here, and it has the question number 1 that goes with it. So I'll go ahead and read it. Ouch! I've got a splinter in my finger, cried Rosa. I knew I shouldn't have climbed over the wooden fence. Rosa ran into the house to find her mother. She knew that it would be bad to leave the splinter in her finger for a long time. Before I read the question, I would like to notice that we have quotation marks where Rosa said, ouch, I've got a splinter in my finger. That's dialogue that the character in the story is saying. She also has more dialogue because we see the quotation marks, and she said, I knew I shouldn't have climbed over the wooden fence, and then the end of the quotation mark. So there we can tell the things that Rosa actually said in the story. And then the other items are things that she did, her actions. So let's go ahead and go to question 1. We've got part A. Rosa got a splinter in her toe. And our choices are T for true, F for false, and I for inference. So Rosa got a splinter in her toe. It said finger. She did not get a splinter in her toe. So that would be false. So you would put a little X or a check mark in this box for false. Let's go on to B. Rosa wanted her mother to take out the splinter. Well, she probably did. But did it say that? Let's go back. Ouch, I've got a splinter in my fingers, cried Rosa. I knew I shouldn't have climbed over the wooden fence. Rosa ran into the house to find her mother. She's looking for her mother. She knew that it would be bad to leave the splinter in her finger for a long time. She didn't want to leave the splinter there. And we probably figured out that she wanted her mother to take out the splinter, but it didn't tell us that directly. So we're going to mark inference because we're using what we've read plus what we know about splinters, and Mama's taken out splinters. And so we would make an inference that that's probably why she was looking for her mother. Go on to C. Rosa climbed over a fence. Well, it said, I knew I shouldn't have climbed over the wooden fence, so it told us directly in the story, so that one would be true. It said that. D. Rosa ran to find her father. Well, ran into the house to find her mother, but it never mentioned father in the whole little story. So the fact that she ran to find her father was false. So you would mark F for false. So let's go over what we did. Rosa got a splinter in her toe, where in fact it was her finger, so we marked false on A. B. Rosa wanted her mother to take out the splinter. Well, she probably did, but it didn't tell us specifically or directly in the story, so we made an inference using what we read plus what we already knew about splinters. We put I for inference. Rosa climbed over a fence. Well, it told us that in the story, so that one would be true. She did. Rosa ran to find her father. It never mentioned father in the story. She ran to find her mother, so that one would be false. So you would put a little X or check mark there. So I want you to do story 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that same way. Take your time, reread to check for your answers. Think about these statements and whether it said it directly or it was totally wrong, or you had to use what you read plus what you already knew about something to figure out that it was an inference. Let me go ahead and give you my contact number or my email, and you can email me at cbrinsfield@checotah.k12.ok.us and let me know how you answered these. Be sure to put your name and the title, what can you infer about these stories, Mrs. Brinsfield, and the date, and put the question number and A, B, C, D, and what you put, like an I for inference, an F for false, or a T for true, and that way I can check over and see how you did, and I can get back with you on that. So thanks a lot, and let me go ahead and say I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care, enjoy this time with your family, and bye for now.